So this is the final fairy tale written in Scots language from a wee book of fairy tales, and this is Reid Ridin Hood. As you're listening, see if you can translate what the Scots language is into English. See if there's any words that you're not sure about. You could maybe post them onto Microsoft Teams if there's words that you're not sure about, and we can see if we can answer that for you. Wee Reid Ridin Hood. Lang, lang ago in the days of lang syne, there was a wee lassie that stayed in a hoose wi' her mither on the edge of the muckle green forest. This lassie always wore a bright reed cloak wi' a hood when she went out, so everybody cried her Wee Reid Ridin Hood. Yin day her mother called Wee Reid Ridin Hood ben to the kitchen and said, "Poor Granny Muchty's no that weel. She's been in her bed and ta'en a peel. I've baked a cake for her the day, and here's a poke of apples too. Now tak them to her through the wood. A visit fae you will dae her good." Wee Reid Ridin Hood put the cake and the poke of apples in her basket and put on her reed cloak. Granny Muchty stayed on the other side of the muckle green forest, but Wee Reid Ridin Hood didna mind. She often walked along the path to Granny's house, and she loved to stop and see the bonny flowers and speak to the wee creatures that stayed among the trees. Just as she was closing the garden yet, her mother called to her through the window, "Mind now, lass, and dinna donder, and frae the pathny dinna wander. Go straight to your Granny Muchty's house. They say there's a wolf out on the loose." Wee Reid Ridin Hood skipped and ran along the path through the muckle forest, carrying the basket with the cake and the apples in it. After a while, she stopped running and had a keek about. "Hiya, hoolits! Hiya, doos! What's your crack, and what's your news? Hiya, squirrel, deer, and brock! Would you like to hear talk?" But the birds and creatures were a bitty shy and didna speak back to her. Wee Reid Ridin Hood didna care. She forgot all about what her mother had telled her, and wandered off the path to put some flowers for Granny Muchty. She put down her basket and found some bonny bluebells and poured a hale bunch. When she gaed back to her basket, there was a wolf standing aside it. He was a awfully handsome beast. He had sleek brown fur and bright yellow een, and lang claws on his feet, and a muckle big smile on his face. Wee Reid Ridin Hood could count all his teeth, which were much bigger than her own teeth. He had 27, and they were as sharp as nails. "Hello," said the wolf. "What's your name, my dear? Do you reside somewhere round here?" "I stay with my mother. There's just her and me." Cried Wee Reid Ridin Hood, "'cause my hood's reed and I'm wee." "Oh, how lovely! I once kent a man," cried Hood. I wonder what Hood he's thinking of. "Now, what brings you here? Are you looking for food?" "I'm going to my granny. She's 60-year-old, but she's awfully no weel. She's in bed with the cold. I've brought her a cake and some apples and all, and this bunch of flowers. Look, are they no just braw?" "Awfully braw," the wolf said. "What a lovely surprise. I can just picture the look in her eyes. But you shouldn't be out in the forest like this. Let me show you her house." "But you shouldn't be out in the forest like this. Let me show you her house. I ken where it is." Wee Reid Ridin Hood minded what her mother had said. Thanks, but nae need," she said. "Good afternoon. I ken the way too, and I'll be there gae soon." The wolf might hae tried to keep her blethering, but just then he heard the chap, chap, chap of someone cutting wood with an axe. A forester worked in the forest, and the wolf was feared for him, so the wolf said, "Cheerio hen, I'll see you again." And he slipped into the trees. Wee Reid Ridin Hood picked up her basket and hurried along the path. But the wolf was quicker. He arrived at Granny Muchty's house first. He chapped at the door. An old voice called out, "Wha's there?" The wolf put on a wee squeaky voice and said, "It's me, Wee Reid Ridin Hood. Dinna keep me shoot out. I've brought you a cake and some flowers and some fruit." "Oh, you're a darling," Granny said. "I feel such a wreck. Just come in awa. The door's off on the snag." The wolf gaed ben the house, shutting the door abint him, and there in the bedroom was Granny Muchty sitting up in her bed. Afore she had time to cry out, he opened his mouth and ate her up. He was in such a hurry to finish afore wee Reid Ridin Hood arrived that he didna even bother to chew, but swallowed her doon in one mouthful. He put on her nightcap and her glasses, pulled the curtains tight to make the room dark, and leapt into the bed. Then he lay there with the covers up under his chin and waited. After a while, there was a chapping at the door. The wolf put on his best old lady's voice and called out, "Wha's there?" And wee Reid Ridin Hood said, "It's me, wee Reid Ridin Hood. Dinna keep me shut out. I've brought you a cake and some flowers and some fruit." "Oh, you're a darling," the wolf said. "I feel such a wreck." Just come away, and the door's aft the snack." Wee Reid Ridin Hood came in and put her basket on the kitchen table. She hadn't even closed the front door when the wolf said, "Come ben, my darling, and give me a smile. Come ben and sit with your granny a while." Wee Reid Ridin Hood guided Ben to the bedroom. "Hello, Granny, are you feeling sore?" "Och, it's awfully dark and there's no fresh air." "Aye, I pulled the curtains to keep out the licht. Come closer so I can see you recht." Wee Reid Ridin Hood took a step closer to the bed. It was hard to see much, but her granny smelt as if she needed a good wash. "Granny," Wee Reid Ridin Hood said, what muckle lang lugs you hae?" "Oh, the better to hear your way," said the wolf. "Come a bitty closer." Wee Reid Ridin Hood took another step. "Granny, what big muckle een you hae?" "Oh, the better to see your way," slavered the wolf. "Just come a wee bitty closer." Wee Reid Ridin Hood stood right next to the bed. "Granny, what muckle sharp teeth you hae?" "Oh, the better to eat your way," said the wolf, and he threw off the covers and caught wee Reid Ridin Hood and swallowed her doon in yin mouthful. Then he smacked his lips, dicked his face with his tongue, and fell asleep on the bed. Now, when the forester that worked in the muckle green forest was loused for the day, I walked home past Granny Muchty's house. On this day he saw that the door was wide open, which didn't seem right. He chapped at the door and got nae answer, so in he gaed, and there on the table was wee Reid Ridin Hood's basket with the cake and the apples and the flowers in it. "I ken that basket," the forester said. "Michty, that's queer. It's wee Reid Ridin Hood's, but she isna here." He looked in the bedroom, which was all dark. When he opened the curtains a wee chink, he saw the wolf snoring fast asleep on the bed, and nae sign of wee Reid Ridin Hood or Granny Muchty. But the forester saw that the wolf's belly was full to bursting. Look at that. He took out a knife for his belt, and he carefully cut open the wolf's belly. And there inside, all squashed up and currying in together, like our currying, were wee Reid Ridin Hood and Granny Muchty. The forester put his finger to his lips, and they crept out the wolf's belly without waking him. Then wee Reid Ridin Hood gaed into the garden and gathered up some big stones. The forester put the stones inside the wolf's belly, and Granny Muchty took her needle and thread and sewed the wolf back up again. When everything was read up, the forester opened the window wide and stood at the door and shouted at the top of his voice, "Oh, Granny, I'm hungry. Do you hae ony cakes? I've been working all day chopping trees with my axe." The wolf woke up with a flag, jumped out the bed and leapt straight out the window. He ran and ran, but the stains in his belly got heavier and heavier, till at last he came to a burn in the middle of the muckle green forest. When he tried to swim across it, the stains made him sink to the bottom, and he drowned. Back at the house, wee Reid Ridin Hood, Granny Muchty and the forester all sat down for an apple and a big spliff o' cake to their tea, and they all lived happily ever after. What did you like about that story? What did you not like? What connections has it made you think about? And what puzzles you? What questions have you got? Maybe also have a little look at the picture. What do you see? What do you think? What do you wonder? I hope you've enjoyed these stories from A Wee Book of Fairy Tales. Let me know on posts. It would be good, because I'm very happy to read lots more stories, but if nobody wants to listen to them, I might not bother. But hopefully you do want to listen to them and you're enjoying them. Let me know. Okay, bye.